Have you ever experienced that kind of racism?
Yeah, a lot.
Whereabouts would you? Is there any?
Yeah, I remember when I played for Modena. Yeah, I experienced that. I think that game was 2-2, and I scored. When I scored, they started calling me names like monkey, just trying to do like the signs the way the monkeys do all the time. And I'm somebody who doesn't look at those things. I just concentrate on the game.
Whereabouts was that actually? Where did that game take place though?
It took place at what's this name? I've forgotten this place.
Okay. Any experiences in terms of playing in France or?
Yeah, I had the same experience when the same team against Verona, because in Italy, I think they are the most racism part of the country, And I remember we played. I didn't score, but I had that experience. I didn't hear what they were saying. All right, but at the end of the game, I read in the newspaper they have been banned, right, because they were insulting me because I didn't hear what they were saying.
Okay.
But they were banned for 3 home games, like for the fans not going to the stadium for 3 home games.
Okay.
And I didn't hear what they said to me actually, but I think the press and everybody heard it, or the people heard it, so they were banned for that.
You've said that it doesn't affect you mentally. Are you able to block it out? That's
how he felt. Yeah.
Okay. Cameraman's telling me what to do now.
Yeah.
Did it? How did it make you feel in terms of the when you heard it?
Yeah, for me, when I hear many people calling me names like supporters, I cannot fight the whole. I wish I could fight somebody, but an individual cannot tell me in front of me, That I'm gonna show the person the way I am, honestly, because sometimes it's a bit frustrating. But if the fans do that, sometimes they do it to frustrate you, because they also want to win, But sometimes they don't mean what they are doing, all right? And some people also mean it. So it's 2 things. So me, for instance, when I'm playing, I don't listen to the fans, because I know they do many things to provoke you. So, but an individual cannot stand in front of me and do that. That one, I would take action there, honestly.
Okay. So I said earlier on, Samuel Eto'o actually tried to leave the pitch while playing for Barcelona, and because of the constant monkey chants every game, and his action in that actually led to action being taken against the fans. So is that something you would for players doing that?
Yeah, I also for Asamoah Gyan, I didn't witness that incident, but I remember a game in Italy. Zorro, he played for one team in Italy, and against Inter Milan, he had to stop the ball and just take the ball away. He got frustrated and he said, "That's it. It's not playing anymore. Everybody should get out of the field." It was something embarrassing. Sometimes people will tolerate it. People will also not tolerate it, because if it continues, then the player will have to take action there. As we were talking about Asamoah Gyan, yeah, he's a big player. Everybody will be talking about him. But sometimes when it continues, because I know Asamoah Gyan, he's somebody who is very sociable. He's lovely. He always laughs. He tolerates some things, but maybe he thought it was going on too much, so he had to just take an action. I do support that.
And recently, he's moved to obviously into Milan. Had problems there as well. You mentioned Italy having problems of racism, and the referee stopped the game. And the Tannoy announcement was made that unless the fans stop doing the abuse, then the game will be abandoned. Do you think that's a good way of dealing with it, where the referee, because it was so bad in the stadium in Italy, the referee said, "I'm stopping the game because of the abuse Samuel Eto'o was getting." Tannoy system says, if you don't stop, we'll abandon the game.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's doing something to stop that racism, because we we Africans, you know, not me Africans alone, but we Africans, we came to help. You know, we came here for our professional career. We do help teams a lot. And if people try to just provoke you, like with the way you are, then it's racism. And I think FIFA should take action of that. If maybe a fan or a club fans try to do something, then they should get banned.
Okay.
That is my opinion.
Okay. Our films, these films go into schools, and obviously you're a role model in terms of young people. Sunderland, in the Sunderland area. If a black young person was suffering racism in a school, or you know anybody was suffering racism in a school, what would your advice be to them as a person? What should they do in that situation?
Yeah, then I'll say that the teacher or the headmaster or somebody should take action of that, because it's, you know, sometimes we go to school to study and sometimes we make friends, you know, but if maybe the person is not happy in that school, then the person is going to get frustrated, and that is where problems will start coming. Maybe the person will not tolerate that. It can bring violence, you know, because somebody cannot control, and maybe he can just try to hit somebody or something, and it will cause another problem. So I think maybe the headmaster of that school should maybe just talk about that racism and make sure everybody sticks by it.
Great, really good advice. What would you say to the person as well? What what other advice could you give them? That's like reporting it. Is there any? You know, how would you deal it? You know, as a person, what would you? What would you?
Yeah, as a person, I would go to an elderly person and then tell the person to advise the person who is trying to provoke me. You know, to just talk, and if for me, my policy is like, if persuasion fails, then force must be applied. Because if you talk the first time and the person doesn't accept it, the second time, the third time should be action. For me, that honestly, but it's not about violence. You know, we have to just talk to people to stop that thing, and everything we live happily.
Okay, great. Footballers are a little bit different to ordinary African people or any black people who come to England, because you know, one of the things we found out very early is they see you as a football player, but a lot of African people in this city would or in the northeast would get racism, you know, called refugee, asylum seeker, that kind of abuse. Have you come across any of that kind of abuse that people get in general in their ordinary lives? You know, getting called, go back to your country and things like that.
Yeah, I do. Like, I'm talking about about experience. Like, if you are a professional football player, you are a big player, you're a star. People see you and they give you that respect. You know, I remember I went to a shop. You know, the way the person was behaving, like he doesn't until the person knew who I was. Before the person started reacting, like giving me a good reception, and I think that is bad. You know. You have to just, even black or white, we the same.
Did you hear about the Everton player, Amakachi, who was looking at a really expensive watch in a jeweller's, and they called the police. They called the police on him because they thought he was going to rob the shop. You know, so you know that.
Yeah, you know
the stereotype, and it wasn't funny for him. The police came.
Yeah, that is.
He was really angry about it.
Yeah, that is embarrassing. You know, that is embarrassing. You know, sometimes, although we know where we come from, we come from Africa, and everybody knows we poor. You know, but fine. Finally, we're here, and you know, sometimes, like the way you were talking, you go to a shop. A black guy goes to a shop and tries to buy something expensive, and you see many people looking at the person in a way, such like a strange way. But if a white person does that, it's normal. It's a normal thing, you know. So you see the difference. So
yeah.
it should be stopped. It's to be stopped.
If you know how you thought he reacted to you.
Yeah, like, you know,
before he recognised you as a football player.
Yeah. If you start off from,
you know, the way, you know, maybe you enter the shop and then first maybe you greet the person will never give you any smile. Like, he'll give you a strange face, like, you know, a normal face, you know. But as soon as the person knows you are this, you that, start smiling. Like, hey, how you doing? You know.
Absolutely.
It's good to experience a lot of things. I played in Italy, I played in France. The Italians have different mentality. The French also have different mentality. So I'm now in England. So I'm now here. So I have to just see. I have to compare the three and then just combine it together. And then that is if they say somebody has an experience, this is what we're talking about. I've been in so many countries and the way they live there. So I think that I've got a lot of experience.
It's brilliant.